Hi guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Rodian and today we're going to continue on with the fireplace. Now I'm stood in my rain window, but it's actually a really nice day. I kind of feel bad staying in here and building this fireplace, but I've got into the swing of it and I want to finish it. So if it rains on Monday, then we'll have to find something else to do, won't we? Right, okay, first off, there's a few things that I want to address from yesterday's video and I will show you them now. Right, okay, first thing is, as you might be able to tell from here, is I have raked out all the joints. It looks a bit darker. Well, it did look a bit darker. It looks really darker now with the shadows cast on it. But I have a feeling that's probably because obviously the muck's drying, the bricks were slightly wet. The muck probably would have looked okay, but I just thought I'd rake it out anyway, just in case. I don't know, it was a bit of a silly idea of me doing it yesterday, because I'm not used to using good muck, because that wasn't off. That was hard. I had to get the old grinder out, the old little grinder there, and cut it out and then scrape it away. Oh, by the way, if you don't have a chariot, then this is your next best thing. A bit of wood with a screw for it, just at the right depth that you want to rake out. And that's it, simple as. You ain't got to buy a chariot. But if you do want a chariot, there is one linked in the description. Right, okay, the other thing is, what was the other thing? I can't bloody well remember what the other thing was. What was the other thing? Oh yes, the other thing. Had a comment asking about why I didn't gauge this pier as I went up. Simply because I've already built this wall here and I just followed it up, going up the same courses as that. As you can see there, it's all pretty much bang on to the gauge. So that's why I didn't bother gauging it. I didn't see the point, because I've already done it once, just need to do it again, which is exactly what I did. Now, for those of you who are interested, it is level, pretty much. Touching the line. That's better, it was sitting on a bit of muck. Yeah, if those are interested, it is bang on level. Right, now, at the moment, I am starting to do the turning piece for La Arch. So I've got my very, very old antique pair of compasses. Compass, whatever I don't think it is a compass, because it's not really. It's a bit of wood with a couple of metal pokers on it for doing the arches, but it works the same thing as a compass. Anyway, and I've got my big bit of ply, horrible bit of ply, but that's all I could find. I'm not going to show you how to make this turning piece, because I already went through it in quite a lot of detail when I did this original arch. So if you would like to learn how to build a form for an arch, there is a card up here, and also I will link the video in the description, so go and check that out. It's about 20 minutes and it goes into quite a lot of detail about how you set an arch out. Okay, so what I will do is I will use the powers of YouTube, and if my snapper works, then we will 1, 2, 3, and there we go. One turning piece ready to go. And also, in the magic of YouTube, we've also set up some bits of timber either side of there. So all we've got to do is just plonk the old turning piece on top of that. So let's see if it fits. Cool, it's hard work doing this one-handed. Oh, bloody hell, almost dropping it. Right. And there we go. That's looking right good. Right good. That's looking right nice, that. Don't know what accent that was. If you can see that in there, that is just kissing that joint all the way across the top, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, whenever you do any sort of arches, you must remember, when you do the sides, when you sitting on the supports, don't have the support all the way up to the same height as the arch, because when you come to finish the arch, you will have trouble pulling that piece out. So bit of slate, bit of timber, little wedge in there, anything, just pull those out, and then this will drop slightly, and then just pull it out, and you won't have to worry about any of those. And there's bricks falling down. So there we go, we are good to go. Now, what I'm going to have to do is, first step is we'll put the little skew back in here and build that section up. Now, I was going to build these all the way up to the top and then just run it through with the lines, but unfortunately I'm going to have to do it a bit as I go, purely because there's a turning a skew back here, that little cut going in there, which is going to be a half brick, and there's going to be a half brick here, and that's going to go up. Now, I can't build the whole thing up because I haven't got anything for the brick to sit on here, so I'm going to have to put 2 or 3 bricks in here, and then I can build these right up. So we'll do exactly that, 2 or 3 bricks on either side, build the sides up, and then just run the top bit in. Now, as I've set this out, I set these out much better than I did on the last arch. If anyone is an old time member, subscriber, and you remember, The arch behind, the joints are about 12 to 15 mil. They're a bit bigger than I'd like. Now on here, they all work out to be perfect gauge all the way up until the middle. Now they're supposed to be, I worked it out to be 74 mil per course rather than 75 mil, and because of this big fat old pencil I used, it's made this top one a little bit skinny, so that in total, including joints, is 60 mil. So what I'm going to have to do, the top three, as I bring them in, I'm going to tighten them all up, so we should just get a brick straight in the middle there and it should work out perfect. Fingers crossed, that's hopefully what's going to happen. Right, we're set to go. All I need to do now is knock up a bit of muck, maybe get a few more bricks in, and I'll cut some halves, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to get cracking. Oh yeah, that reminds me, one other thing that I want to show you. Hold on, let me go and grab it. Right, on these sides, as you can see, we've obviously put the starter bars in there, the Furfix, whatever you like to call them. Now, that's holding the piers in nice and tight, they're not going anywhere. However, this arch over the top, I'm not very happy with the fact that it could wobble, crack, etc, etc. Now I was just going to put a few screws in through the blockwork, but I don't think that would hold it in as nicely enough as what I have here. So I was going back a few years to when I was on site, I nicked a bucket full of window ties. These bad boys. So what I'm going to do, these might be a bit long, so I have to cut them down with a grinder, but every few bricks, I'll probably put one of those in, sort of, I don't know, put a handful of these in, maybe six or seven of those all the way through, and that should hold that in nicely. So there we go. Yeah, focus, you son of a gun. Thank you. Window ties, perfect. Whole bucket full of them. There's all sorts of bits and pieces in there. In fact, look at that, a bit of copper in there. I better put that in my pocket. Oh, a bit of copper, lovely. What else we got in here? Ah, look at that. That's what we want for the old mantelpiece. That might not be long enough, but oh mate, it's like a lucky dip in here. What else have we got? Oh, bit of the old the expansion joints. No black sleeves on them. Some more of these. Do they even fit in that? Do they fit in that? No, look at that. They're a bit long. Oh well. Anyway, enough of my bucket full of amazing wonders. I'm going to go and knock a bit of muck up, get things ready, and then we'll come back and we'll start laying some bricks. Let's go! Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is unfortunately all the time we have today, all the time I have to give you today, that is. But check that out. Does that not look effing cool? Right, I have preemptively raked it all out. A little tip for you here, I'm not dropping the turning piece because there's not weight on the top to push it out. I mean, if I took it out now, it probably wouldn't go anywhere, but I'm just being safe than sorry, because also we got these clips up the top here, and I put about 10 in there, something like that, I can't remember. But anyway, if you want to leave the turning piece in and you don't want to have to grind out all the joints under here, get a 100mm screw. If you focus on my hand, get a 100mm screw and just poke it in through there, and just sort of like a little saw, just cut a bit of the muck out and you're good. I don't know if you saw on the time lapse that I did go up on the underside with a trowel and just cut snots off behind, so I've got a nice little bit of jointing on the inside of these bricks going through. And yes, looking very good. I did put the level across the top and we are perfectly level, which I'm very happy about. I'll tell you what, just because a lot of people like to be shown, because I don't really believe. Put that on there. I'll stand in front of the light. There you go, it's as good as level as I can see. So there you go, for all of those particulars out there, we are good to go. Now, I was going to cobble out one course out here, but you know what, I've decided not to. What I'm going to do, instead of putting the beam straight on top of this course through here, I'm going to put one more course up, and it's going to step out 20 to 30mm all the way around. So all of those who know me and my corbelling skills, a double corbel is very dodgy, but I reckon that 30mm coming out this side and then 30mm all the way through the front and 30mm the other side should be quite a nice little plinth kind of thing for the sleeper to sit on top of. Now, also another thought, I don't think I'm going to screw it into the wall. I have a feeling I might try, and I'm going to screw it down into the brickwork. Sort of 2 bolts that end and 2 bolts this end. That's the way I'm going to do it, I think. I might also put, I don't know actually, saying that, I might cut out some joints on either side and put a couple of L brackets on. I don't know, but anyway, there's a food for thought. What we're going to do is we're going to leave that for the time being. If it rains any time next week, then we're going to finish this, but otherwise we'll be back on the roof, because apparently next week is going to be quite nice. But I'm very, very happy with how that's gone. I'd like to get it finished next week, so maybe on Monday we'll just spend the morning or the afternoon, or maybe Tuesday morning or afternoon, just finishing it off, just putting those last few bricks around the top, and I'll get a sleeper. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to fit the sleeper until the whole internals are done. Like floors are in, windows are in, heating's in, purely because I'm going to get the beam and I'm going to leave it on the hearth. I'm going to put the hearth in, I'll leave it on the hearth and let it sort of acclimatise for, I don't know, a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, so that any shrinkage or anything like that, it gets taken out of straight away. Much the same you would do with a real wood floor, leave it in to acclimatise. So I'll do the same thing with the beam, but obviously the beam is a lot bigger, so I'll leave it in for a lot longer, maybe even leave it in there for a month or so before we put it on. Hopefully next week, well, definitely next week, we will get those last. In fact, do you know what? I'll tell you what, we will do it on Monday. We'll put, it's only a few bricks. Oh, that's the other thing. I've run out of muck and I ain't got any more sand, and I'm not digging that sand up and using that. So I'll get a bit of sand, and we shall put those last few courses in. And I will get a bit of sand out of the garden, and I'll point the whole thing up in the same sort of colour. So we'll do that on Monday. Okay. Right, there we go. Looking very nice. And also, yeah, we'll strike this and get a proper good look at the finished article. So yeah, it'd be lovely. So went from being 1 episode into 3 now. I do apologise for that, but I don't have the time for it at the moment. I've run out of time today. Right, guys and gals, there we go. That's it for another week. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like down below if you have. Subscribe if you aren't already. And I will see you after the weekend. Oh, for all of those of you who are interested and are subbing on my other channel, my vlog channel, I'm going to be doing another American road trip video over the weekend. And this one's shaping up to be quite a good one. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down to my other channel in the description, and also there will be a little circle popping up somewhere around here with my head on it, so click on that and that will take you over to my vlog channel. So I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys bright and breezy next week. Bring your tea, bring your coffee, and bring your boots. So have a good one, take care, ta-ra.